Hi everyone, and what's up guys? In this video we're gonna show some actually advanced stuff in how we can use also C# code. So we're gonna create one nice effect that is actually rotating obstacles. So we're gonna create this effect. So we're gonna create this effect, or actually rotating obstacles around the axis. So we're gonna create these blue cubes that actually rotates around this axis. And this actually looks in the hierarchy like this. So we're gonna create one obstacle and axis for that one obstacle, two obstacle and axis 2, and so on. So we see that, for example, obstacle 2, his axis is actually there. So we see that there is this axis 2 for obstacle 2, and this is obstacle 2, I think. So this where I pointing with my mouse, so this obstacle rotates around this axis 2 actually. So around this axis 2, and we're gonna achieve this effect by using C# code in our Unity, or in our actually Microsoft Visual Studio. So turn off this and go back in our real project. And now for the beginning we're gonna just resize our walls, because to get nicer effect whenever we play the game. So if I now play the game, we see that whenever we go left, so whenever we go right or left here, we see that we see actually an empty space here. So we see the color of the skybox. Actually we doesn't see a walls anymore, and for that we're gonna resize our walls. Click on the wall and choose this tool right here, which is actually very good and very usable for resizing game objects. And just resize left end of the wall, so like this, for about, I don't know, yeah, on the X this will be 12, enough. And for the right wall also right end and resize it for about 12 numbers in the scale for the X-axis. And now when we play the game, now we see that this actually is very nicer effect than previous. So now we cannot see the end of our walls. It seems to us that this wall is actually infinite. And turn off the game. And now also what we need to do with our walls is resizing on the height. So we're gonna resize also this height in order to get a longer level. And also left wall for about 74 numbers on the scale for the y-axis, and also yeah, there will be 75, so 75 for the y on the scale, and also there is 75. And I think now this is very nicer effect than previous that we have. And now we're gonna create our rotating obstacles. So go here in hierarchy panel, create empty game object, which is actually going to be the handle of all of our blue obstacles. So type here blue obstacles like this, and in our game object we're gonna create 3D object and cube, and go here and let's say blue obstacle 1. And now we're gonna copy and paste this 4 times, because we're gonna have 4 blue obstacles. And this is going to be blue obstacle 2, this is going to be blue obstacle 3, and also 4th one like this. So we just created a bodies of our obstacle, but we doesn't even create a color for our obstacle. So choose all of our obstacle and just remove this box collider, which is actually for 3D, and attach, so in the add component attach a box collider 2D, which is actually for 2D platforms or 2D games, as I said. And now everything is fine. We're gonna now choose or create a material for our blue obstacle, and you can imagine this is going to be a blue material. So we have there currently black material and green material, but for our blue obstacle it will going to be blue material. And let's type here, name our material blue material, so like this. And now go here for the shader, go to the unlit and choose, and so I choose UI actually because I doesn't see the color. I choose UI and I see default, and I get confused. So choose the unlit actually, not like I am UI, and choose unlit and choose the color. And go here now also for the main color here and choose whichever color you want, but because this is the blue obstacles, I will choose here a shiny blue color. And now we create a blue material for our obstacles, and now attach our blue material one by one on our obstacles. So like this, on 2, on 3, and on 4th one. And now when we separate our obstacles, we have this. So we have this kind of obstacles. I think this is nice obstacles, and when I zoom here, we see that we are created our blue obstacles in a fine way. Also, what we need to do is creating these axes. So we're gonna create a separate axis for each of our obstacle. So for the blue obstacle, it will be in the blue obstacles empty game object, which is going to be axis 1, and I will copy and paste these 4 times because we have 4 obstacles. So this is going to be axis 2, axis 3, and axis 4, like this. And now below our blue obstacle 1, we're gonna put our axis 1. Below our blue obstacle 2, axis 2, for the 3 also, and our axis for the 4 obstacle is already put it here. And now we need, as I said on the beginning of the video, we need a C# script to create an effect for rotating obstacles around our axis. So first of all, we're gonna position this axis in the correct position. So we're gonna put our axis 1 near the obstacle 1. So we're gonna choose this axis 1 and put it, for example, here. And our obstacle 1, which is actually this one, is gonna rotate around this axis 1 when we create this effect in our C# script. This axis 1 is actually the axis of this blue obstacle 1. And for the blue obstacle 2, we're gonna take this axis 2 and put it, for example, here or here, in order to our obstacle 2 now go and rotate around this axis 2. And for the third one also we're gonna, so where is, yeah, there is, so we're gonna take there or there, I think it will be nicer. And for the fourth one we're gonna put it, for example, here or here. I think it will be better. So no, I think it will be nicer here. And actually blue obstacle 4 and this one will touch each other, and this will be, I think, nicer effect than to put this axis 4 here. And now go here in the assets, go to the scripts and right click, go to create and choose a C# script and name that script rotating obstacles. So not like this, but obstacles. And now click enter in order to our Visual Studio open our script. And now we created a rotating obstacles script. And actually this is going to be very short script, so we're gonna just type 1 line of code in our update method, and for that we don't need this start method, so simply delete this. And every coding we start with creating a variable, so go here and create a couple of variables, which is going to be public, so not like this, but public game object, and this is going to be for the axis. and one more variable which is actually for speed of our rotating, and this is going to be public, so not like this, man, public float and speed, like this. So I type 3 times e. And now go here in the update method, and we're gonna create transform dot rotate around, and this is actually one function. So we're gonna see here in the description, so rotates the transform about axis passing through point in world coordinates by angle degrees. And we see that their transform dot rotate around takes 3 parameters, so take the vector 3 point, vector 3 axis, and float angle. And if you do not understand, you will understand everything when I pass here our variables. So for the first parameter, it will be axis dot transform dot position. For the second one, it will be vector 3 dot forward. And for the third one will be speed multiply with time dot delta time. And don't worry, I will explain what does this means. So first parameter is axis dot transform dot position. So this is actually the current position of our axis. So for this axis, this is our axis, and we take his current position and put it here in order to our obstacle know where to rotate. So second parameter is vector 3 dot forward, and this is actually shortcut for writing vector 3 and in parentheses 0, 0, 1. So this is actually just a shortcut for typing this vector 3, so for typing one number in the z axis. And our vector, or our actually obstacles, we will go one number in the z axis by typing this shorthand. And third one parameter is speed multiply with time dot delta time. And we're gonna specify our speed in our inspector panel because this is a public variable, and for that we're gonna specify our value of speed in the inspector panel where we attach our script. And this time dot delta time is simply gonna slow and a little bit smooth our variable in the right way, because this will divide our speed variable every frame. And we will talk a bit about this time dot delta time and these functions in some later tutorials. But for now, let's save all of this and go back to Unity, and let's attach our rotating obstacle script on each of our obstacles. So for the blue obstacle 1, I will attach rotating obstacle here, and we see that we have their non-game object for the axis. So we're gonna attach, because this is the blue obstacle 1, we're gonna attach on this slot axis 1 actually. And for the speed, it is going to be -17, so no, like this, -70 for all of our obstacles. And for the blue obstacle 2, also attach our script and also axis 2, because it's the obstacle 2. Speed also is going to be -70. For the blue obstacle 3, attach our rotating obstacle script, axis 3, and speed is gonna be -70. And for the last one, the same way, axis 4 and -70 for the speed of rotating. And now everything is set up, and we just need to play the game and see what we actually make here. Now we are in game mode, and when I go on the scene, we see that we actually achieve our effect that we wanted. So we achieve this effect that is actually rotating obstacles around our axis, and I think you now understand for what we use this axis, for what we use this code here, and so on. And this was this for this video, guys. Also, you can experiment with this axis, with this code, so you can put axis wherever you want and get nicer effect This is this for this video. In the next video we're gonna proceed with develop our game, and until then, see you guys in the next video.